Brogan, what's up, dude? Welcome everyone else into the Fat Beans Brew Laboratory here on a very cold Saturday night. We got the new microphone in, so let me know what you think about the sound. I think I'm already gonna have to make some adjustments. So bear with me while I work out the sound anytime I change the room. Zooey Mama. Sounds great. Hello, fellow Beanheads. Yes, welcome in, Beanheads. Welcome in all to another frosty edition of the Fat Beans Laboratory. Sounds good. Nice. So that's what we want to hear. Looks like we got a lot of Beanheads in, so it should be a special show for all of us, especially me. Oh, and Bubba Tex 000's in, so welcome in Bubba Tex. Long time no see. So, like the title so whimsically put it, we are going to be doing some iced coffee tonight. I guess AWeb thought it would be funny if it was negative 15. Why don't we drink some really cold coffee as well? Because that's what you want when it's freezing outside. You want to drink nice, cold, bitter coffee. He said my name. You got it. We take care of all the beanheads here in Fat Beans Laboratory because Fat Beans Laboratory, we're a bean team. Well, so like I said, special show today because I have no idea what I'm doing. I have never drank iced coffee. I've never ordered iced coffee. I've never brewed iced coffee, nor have I ever wanted iced coffee. But if you're going to be a guy who makes roasts, you got to kind of, I don't know, expand your horizons a little bit because there's a lot of people that ask me for coffee that like iced coffee. So here we are. We're going to try to work it out. So I can't really speak for the iced coffee lovers. However, I can try to see if I can find something I like, and if I like it, I can promote it. Do you want to ice some coffee? Come on, let's roast some beans. I never sleep anymore. It's gone out the door. I've had a cup of 3. I love iced coffee. It's too frozen. Oh, sorry. Do you want to ice some coffee? Come on, let's roast some beans. I never sleep anymore. It's gone out the door. I've had a cup of 3. I hate it. Anyway, so any more jingles, AWeb? Let's get those out of the way before we jump in. Cold brew or iced coffee? Well, P. Brogren, both. So we're going to do a cold brew. I'll kind of explain what cold brew is, and then we'll do an iced coffee. Iced coffee, hope it's as good as McDonald's McCafe. Tough to beat. It is, probably is. They have the benefit of the cream and sugar. They pour it in until it tastes good. Here at the Beans Lab, we don't do sugar, just because I am of the belief that sugar is just a mask for bad coffee. So, Bubba Tech's bunch of zeros, I don't think I'm going to be able to meet the sugary goodness of it. But I will walk you through. And yes, Stream Elements is here as well. That is our personal robot. More coffee-related Disney jingles, please. AWeb, you're on it. But P. Brogan, as I was talking about, we're going to do cold brew and iced coffee. So cold brew is just as it sounds. It is not the same as iced coffee because iced coffee is actually brewed hot and then poured onto or with ice. A cold brew is brewed cold. Now, normally, cold brew makers are kind of like iced tea makers in the sense that you steep them in the coffee for 6 hours. We don't got 6 hours. I'm not that kind of streamer. So we have an hour. So I have been searching the internet and I came across a AeroPress recipe that does a cold brew in 2 minutes. I'll explain how it does the cold brew in 2 minutes, but I'm kind of excited. Again, I have done none of these recipes before. We are going in blind. But I like where the science is at on it. So I'll try to walk you through what the cold brew is trying to accomplish and why you would want to do a cold brew. Our local roaster set up a couple of cold brew cans with one of our orders. It took one can for me not to automatically grimace as cold coffee. Halfway through the second, I started to appreciate it. So let's start right there, Vegetable Beard, because a lot of roasters and a lot of brewers do cold brew for a couple of reasons. What I've been reading, and if anyone knows any more about this, go ahead and correct me, because in the laboratory, we're always looking to have our science superseded by better science. But the idea is that coffee naturally is very acidy. The heat is really where the acid is drawn from, extracted from the beans. So if you take away the heat, the acid will stay away. Now you'd be like, well, why would we want to keep the acid away? Well, if you keep the acid away, it will still extract some of the sugars. So the sugars and the acids are what combine to make the fruit flavors or fruit tastes or fruit notes. So if we have a very acidy coffee, push away the acid, we just get the sugar, it can create a very unique type of coffee. Also, let's say there's a lot of people who suffer from digestion issues related to a lot of acid. Cold brew coffee is a way that they could get not as much caffeine, because the heat is going to extract more caffeine, but it could be a nice alternative to people who don't or can't really support a ton of acid. So we're going to see. Now, if you recall from last night or Monday when I roasted this is a Kenyan. Roasted it light. It had so much acid taste to it. Not bad, but it was essentially grapefruit. I hate grapefruit. Can't stand it. And a lot of the grapefruit taste was coming from a really, really, really strong acid taste. So I guess the hypothesis is if we can tone down the acid, maybe we can get this to do something with the sweet notes that were in it. Another reason why you'd want to do cold brew, just to kind of something to chew on for a minute. Let's say you don't have hot water, but you still have to get the coffee taste. Well, you could hypothetically brew this entire method using tap water or room temperature water. So if you were camping and things weren't going well and you didn't have fire or you didn't have something to heat your water in, both really bad time for camping. But let's say both those things were to occur, you could still get your caffeine on. So whatever miserable camping experience you're going through, you could at least supersede it by having a little caffeine fix. I love these containers. Yeah. TJ Maxx, Home Goods, that whole conglomerate, I recommend them. They're not like super airtight, but they hold about a pound. They look nice. See the beans, so a lot of good stuff. Those are some quality containers. And that's coming from a scientist, ladies and gentlemen. So Bubba Tex, you need to make sure that you're double checking all of the science here today. And look at there's Robot. So if you haven't met Robot yet, he comes in and says the obvious. So say hi to Robot, everybody. All right. So, like we got a new follower. So, Ine AM, welcome to the. And if I mess that up, I apologize. It's my dyslexia, and I'm in a dark basement. So. But welcome in. Let the Beanheads welcome you as well. So Beanheads, make the new follower feel welcome. And Bubba Tex has gone ahead and emoted or emojied his credentials for all of you. So how we're going to get started is we are going to grind up some coffee. Now with a cold brew. Hello, fellow Beanheads. Welcome in. Nice to have you. So we are going to do a little bit different. So we're actually going to do the cold brew using the AeroPress. So you're like, oh great, he's going to show us more AeroPress stuff. I am, because this thing is versatile. So we're going to actually do it the normal AeroPress style. A little bit different. Get ourselves a clear glass here. We're going to grind the beans up as fine as we possibly can. Now you're like, whoa, in the AeroPress, we normally do a coarser ground. Fat beans, what's going on? Let me tell you what's going on. Because it's cold brew, we need to make sure that as much of the grounds are available for extraction. So in a coarser ground, the heat is going to extract from the bigger grinds. Without the heat, we need as much surface area as possible. So we're actually going to do an espresso grind. That's going to be step 1. So in our making of a cold brew. Step 2, I'm actually going to stir this for a solid 60 seconds. There's no blooming because there's no heat, but we are going to try to generate as much of a reaction as possible by stirring it. So I'm actually going to stir it for 60 seconds, and then we will press it through the filter. Using the AeroPress can be depressing. Warning number 1, AWeb. Work on your Disney. Is that the one that Jill used? Yes. So if you were here last Saturday and you watched Jill McDonald with our special guests in the laboratory, this was the one that she used as well. So I use the AeroPress a lot because it works. Okay. So we need to actually go all the way over to the espresso land. Don't spend a lot of time here, but oh, Butterfingers. Again. Also note the new sink. We're one step closer to it being a real kitchen, but it is not hooked up because I'm only kind of competent at plumbing, so I wasn't ready to hit that quite yet. So, a couple of things. We are going to give ourselves 16 grams, and let's change our little view stream here for all you bean heads. So welcome Julie. She'll be doing some production in the background. So everyone say hi to Julie. 16 grams. So fine, it's getting stuck. Fine. Or as they say in Texas, so oh man, old Gary the Grinder. He really took a beating there. Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is just going to wetten our filter. Still wetten the filter, as always. Hey Julie, please taste tonight and share your thoughts, unless it will ruin your night of sleep, of course. I mean, we already have 2 people that constantly are ruining our night of sleep. Alright, so we wet filter here. And we're going to do a standard AeroPress. Alright. So just give you guys a little look at the grind here. Like almost like a cocoa powder. Very, very fine. Again, we're trying to get as much surface area as we possibly can in this cold brew, because it's only going to be brewing for about 2 minutes total. A normal cold brew is usually scheduled to take 6 hours. So if it is very flat, I will make sure and make a note of it. But the one YouTube video I watched said it was good. So if YouTube says it's good, gotta be true. Note, I took some notes here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 70 milliliters of water. We're going to stir it for 1 minute. We're going to drop it down in. We're going to plunge it down. Yeah, 6 hours. Cold brew. We're going to do that in 2 minutes. And then we'll dilute it with water. What are you supposed to do to make the night before? Yeah. What? Okay. So I got myself a graduated cylinder. What this is just tap water. It's just tap water. It's about 70 degrees. Well, it's been down in this basement, so it's probably about 58 degrees. High surface area to volume ratios are important. Science approved. $70 milliliters. What about 78? And constantly stir this. Notice it's not coming out because of the fineness of the grind. So here I am, just stirring. Nice look of just a pale white hand there for you. That's a Winter's hand. One minute. Okay. Getting a lot of force here. This is where the other minute of the brewing goes, is that remember, like another AeroPress, because of fineness of a grind, it is really putting up a fight. It does not want to be pushed through this filter. But you can tell, even without heat, coffee is very dark. Hope everyone else is liking the Saturday night music.
You guys might not be able to hear it, but it is like making some noises that it does not want to be pushed through this filter.
Okay. Now, I am going to just taste this really heavy extract. Now I'm going to water it down a little bit. I did use water vegetable. That's sweet. Cold, which is not my favorite thing. But wow, that is really sweet. It's really transformed that coffee. That is that Kenyan that I was complaining about yesterday.
Like tea.
Like, no, it's like chocolate. It almost like it's
Yeah,
got more of the bitters tastes are coming through.
Tastes more like black tea. Coffee.
It tastes like chocolate to me. Very chocolatey coffee. So let's do this. Very sweet. Now, here's the thing about this ice. I made all of this outside. I just put the ice outside and made it. And yes, these are Lego men. So I think this is a great brew for Lego men. Drop a couple little Lego pals in here. See, I don't get the same tea taste, so I think it really, this is a completely different cup of coffee. What we did last night. So. Pretty good. And this doesn't suck at all. Okay, now I dilute it a little bit. I can see what she means by tea. The acid is not nearly as apparent. Oh, you have toddlers. Hey, Web, I've had those for like 10 years. Means I was 24 when I bought them. I would make it again if I only had cold water. Or, if you're going to do a cold brew, if you're going to attempt this, I would suggest that if you're ever going to use cold water to brew coffee, use a very acidy coffee. That's what I read over and over again. And honestly, really acid tastes in this coffee are gone. Mild. It's kind of like a tea. It's coffee, not like water. So Lego P, thank you. P Rogan gets it. Lego people. We're trying to usher in a new age here, guys. Probably try it at least 3 times before passing judgment and never going back to it. I will try it. I'll try it many more times, vegetable beer. If I don't have hot water. Just saying. But, I mean, if I'm going to run a race, I'm not going to take my shoes off. I got shoes. I'm wearing the shoes. Now, yeah, here we go. Tell me about why all barefoot running is good. And give me all that Austin mumbo jumbo. But if I'm running a race, I'm wearing shoes. Not too shabby. So, that's the first surprise of the night. I thought I was going to hate it. Don't hate it. That was so 20. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, so any questions about the cold brew? So again, you're going to see a lot of roasters who are doing that. It opens up. Let's say you get a coffee. It's too acidy. You could put it into a cold brew. Really just change the entire dynamics of the cup. So what different brewing types, different techniques do is they allow for the not only the roaster, the farmer, the brewer, the barista, they give them a lot of opportunities to take coffee and not just say this is a bad coffee or I don't like this coffee. What they do is allow them to bring the best out of coffee, especially like this Kenyan, if it does have some good characteristics in it. So instead of just throwing it into a blend or pushing it off as, the Christmas brew or the pumpkin brew, it really gave that coffee some new life. Psh, I'm wearing running shoes. Barefoot runners scare me. Yeah, I agree. Okay. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to move into the iced coffee. So we're going to bring the heat back in and we're going to incorporate ice. Now we're going to do this one of 2 ways. The first way, we're going to use our AeroPress again, and we're actually going to brew hot water over ice. What other bean regions do you think would be good for a cold brew? I think Ethiopian would probably be the best. I think Ethiopian and Kenyan, Brunei, so African coffees I think are going to probably fall into that category of the best. I think all those coffees light roasted. I think if there are coffees that are low grown, some Colombians, some Panamanians that do have a very rich acid in them, even some Guatemalans, I think all 3 of those, if they're roasted light, which a lot of times Central Americans, South Americans aren't, just because they can be easier to medium roast. But I think all of those would definitely be good for the cold brew. So if you have a cold brew maker, Ethiopian, Kenyan, Brunei, I would not put an Indonesian coffee in there. Those are very wild, very earthy. Earthy and wild would have not been good in that situation. So those two categories, I would avoid both of those. So that is the cold brew. Let's move to the iced coffee. That's what the people are here for. That's what the title says. So iced coffee is hot coffee on ice. Now we're going to do two types. We're going to actually AeroPress coffee over ice. I have some big cubes, again, that I made outside very easily. Did not take much effort to make this ice outside. So this, we're going to do that. Then, the last brew of the night, we are going to get a little bit weird, and we're going to do a hybrid between putting pour over coffee over ice, melt the ice, then put some more ice in it. That was interesting, and I've been curious about cold brews. I bet your way is less bitter than the 6 hour. I'm gonna think yes. The longer it goes, the more bitter it's gonna be. Earthy and wild, intriguing. Yeah. So P. Brogren contacted Sweet Maria's. I got a Sumatran 5-year coming. I only got a pound of it, but it is going to be earthy and wild. So you definitely want to check that show out. Current temp in KC Mo, 3 degrees. Thanks for the update, Bubba Tex. That's just what I needed. 3 degrees and dropping. All right, stop. Throw some beans in, listen. Iced coffee is back with a brand new addition. Something grabbed a hold of me tightly. Too much caffeine, I'm not sleeping too nightly. Iced coffee. Will I ever stop? I don't know. Too much coffee, now I gotta go. Iced coffee. All right, that was just for you, beanheads. Would not have done it for anyone else. But the beanheads get the tunes. So let's set up for our next one. Now we're going to go ahead and set everything back up to normal AeroPress. So I've refined the grinder. We're going to do everything as a normal AeroPress would. I do have a special recipe, so let's check that out. Make sure brown's here. Sorry, these recipes I just found on the internet real quick. He's so into it now. Yeah, I am. All right. Okay. This is how you saw your stream going when you started it. I did. As soon as I put that title in, I knew it was going to happen. You should title that episode Earthy and Wild. Your viewers' numbers will spike. Okay, I agree. I think that is definitely... I think you were onto something there, P. Brogren. So be looking for the Earthy and Wild episode. Alright, so with this AeroPress, we are going to do about 21 grams of coffee. We're going to be doing a Costa Rican. So, I did the Ethiopian for the cold brew. For this one, I'm going to do a Costa Rican. This is a chocolatey, sugary mix. As I'm guessing a lot of you, the reason you like iced coffee so much is that it goes really good with milk and cream. And some of you are dumping sugar in there. Stop it. But it goes really good with a very latte-like mix. So I'm going to roast up some of this Costa Rican medium brew that I made on Wednesday night and see if we can't get some good flavor out of this. So we'll do about 22 grams. Medium coarse grind. No, I sang that song by viewer numbers, yes. I'm just kidding. All the bean heads, everyone I want, right here. Okay. So much coarser ground. We're going to use 195-degree water for this. We're trying to keep it as standard as possible as far as this goes. We also need some ice to start. What about 80 grams or so of ice? That's 56. grams of ice. So now the ice in here is going to provide some of the water. So when I'm brewing this, I'm going to do a little bit less water because it's going to be watering down in the glass. Yeah, the big cube. I would recommend if you are going to try this AeroPress method, use a bartender's cube or a bar cube, or everyone got one of these as a gift. They just roll out of Target. So if you dig one of these out, make yourself some big ice cubes. I hear they work the best. Again, never done this before. So we're going to do the inverted AeroPress method. If you got questions about what the inverted is, go back and check some of our other streams where I explain a lot of these methods. Going to wet our filter. We are going to bloom our coffee. Do 30 grams, bloom for 30 seconds, and then we'll put an additional about 138 grams on after that. And we'll let that go for a whole minute. Mr. Kingbottom, hello. Well, hello, welcome in. We are making some iced coffee. We are doing a pour over, an AeroPress method, and we'll do a pour over next. We do all sorts of coffee here at Fat Beans Laboratory, and I will let the bean heads welcome you in while I'm brewing. $30 grams here, just to bloom it. Give 10 seconds of stirring. Just to get it all mixed up in there. You can see that nice crema in there, or crema. Oh, look, and Robot jumped in and decided to talk too. Hello, Robot. So 30 seconds of bloom time there. Go ahead and drop another 138 grams. Bring it up to the top. Brew cam. Right. Bean cam has been recycled to brew cam. Donkey Draymond, good to have you back. It's your beans to dreams. So Donkey Draymond, we're doing a little bit of brew laboratory. Good to have you back. There's one for the real.
Can you guys see what happened?
Oh!
Oh my. What happened here?
Oh! Told you. That's some good footage right there.
How did this happen? I've never seen you do that.
Oh! Well, it's one for the old, I can't believe I just didn't throw an F-bomb down. Or there was ever a time to just blow through the old F catalog there. Well, only a matter of time. You film stuff long enough, you're gonna make an ass out of yourself eventually.
But really, I see you do this method at least 2 or 3 times a weekend.
Okay.
And I've never seen you do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk everyone through what happened just so
that
you know that even like I said, I do AeroPress 3 times a day, every day. What happened is that the grounds, you can see, they're pretty coarse. Cup too small. Yeah, probably too small too. I will have to adjust the cup, but the grounds are coarse. They got caught in these interlocking teeth for the brew basket. So when it was overflowing, so I went to go put the brew basket on. I thought it was tight, and it was not. So when I pushed down, the brew basket dropped down, and all of the coffee is just sitting right here in this cup. So I'm gonna get this water going back up. I'm just gonna use the Fat Beans Coffee Labs mug. Joe McDonald, thank you. Do a bigger cup.
Don't worry, we've got stores down here.
Chat, go ahead and I'm gotta wash this out real quick. All right, well, can't get much worse than that, so. We claim to always be amateurish here at the Fat Beans Coffee Lab. It's not that we are professionals, we're just looking to get better. Oh, that was brutal. All right, so. Let's try that again. How do we get that Fat Beans merch? Well, T. Brogan, that's a good question. All of these are prototype right now, meaning it's just I'm sending it out to Etsy's, but we're just trying to see what the Fat Bean logo looks like on stuff. And as you can see, looks great. Looked away for a second and all I heard was no. For a solid 20 seconds in my headphone. You can't look away from the Fat Beans disaster for 1 second. Alright, so let's try this one more time. I know the guy who roasts this, so I can always get more. All right, kiddos, let's run that back. So, quick reminder, 80 grams of ice, 22 grams of coffee, 195-degree water. If you could see the floor, it is not OSHA safe, to say the least. Good thing we're in my basement, where the mess isn't the biggest tragedy in the world. If anyone knows how to clip, if anybody knows how to make a clip on Twitch, that would probably make for a pretty good clip. Just slow-mo that down, just the coffee, just... Alright, let's run it back real quick. So, we're going to bloom it. 30 grams. Roasting Slippies. Just got a cameo. And now we're going to put that extra 138 grams in. Okay. There's the nice crema. We have recovered. Thank you, P. Brogren. I really admire your confidence here. We're back on track, kiddos. We'll let it go for about a minute, and then we will try this again. The beautiful part about Twitch, because if that was YouTube, it could have been gone. Who Butterfingers one episode? Yeah, well, you were here for it. Make sure she's good and tight. I don't know what you're gonna see. Alright, so we'll plunge it out. Notice the plunger's going a lot quicker because the coffee is a lot more coarse. Being plunged over 80 grams of ice. Beautiful. Okay, so you can still see the ice in there. It did melt quite a bit. The coffee is a little bit colder. I'm gonna let it kind of melt down a little bit. It's about at room temperature. In the say of good iced coffee, you throw a couple extra cubes in here. Let it bring down. There it is. Give it a shot. So definitely chocolate notes in there. That looks great. It is a little bitter. And this is a medium roast Costa Rican, but a little bitter. So, in true iced coffee fashion, Got a little bit of milk. Didn't have any cream. Is not the most glowing. It was going to be hard for me to begin with. So I went ahead and just latte'd it up a little bit. Oh yeah, milk makes it a lot better. Which put a lot of work into roasting those beans. You guys watched on Wednesday night. I see why people like this. You would make this a whole lot better. Feels hot. Did I like the cold brew better? I did. I did like the cold brew better, surprisingly enough. As this gets colder with the ice in it, it does get better, but I mean, it does have a very traditional... Now, Jeannie Lynn, tell me this. Do you drink a lot of sugar with this? Because I could definitely see, like, sugar, it would become like a milkshake kind of taste. But without sugar, I don't really see the I don't see the overall appeal. Maybe like one packet of sugar probably tastes like I said, like coffee flavored milkshake, but bingo. So sounds like sugar is the key to unlocking this mystery. Would I like it better if I would. So if it was hot, like, and I'm talking as hot as it gets in Houston 90 days out of the year, or as hot as it gets in Kansas City like 6 days out of the year, I think this wouldn't be the worst option. So now I'm the kind of guy that will stand out there in 96-degree weather and just drink his hot coffee because I'm an idiot. But yeah, if you really wanted a coffee drink, if it was summertime, still, to me, it's just lacking. Like, I think without the heat, it feels like something got taken away. Not bad. Are you going to have to watch the taste of this? I might. That's actually what's going on in my head right now. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do the last one, and then I'm gonna probably want to. I'm gonna have a lot of coffee taste in my mouth and none of the coffee bliss. So I might have to sneak off and do a little hot coffee just to cleanse the old palate. I'll tell you what. I mean, not bad. All right, buckaroos. Let's jump right into the last one. So, the last one we're going to do is we're going to use the pour over. We're going to pour it over ice, and then we're going to add ice on top. Because the pour over brews, so the AeroPress, it was only being pushed on the ice for about, give or take, 15 seconds. We're going to do this for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We're going to brew it up normally, just as normal as a pour over would be. We'll do all of the pour over technique, well, most of the pour over technique, and then it'll just be going over ice. So we'll put, we're just going to pour over, we'll make pour over coffee, and we'll pour it over the ice. See if that changes anything at all. Okay. For this recipe, we're going to do 30 grams of coffee. We're going to make quite a bit more than we normally do. Same level of grind, same grind size as the AeroPress. The water, we did 195 degrees with the AeroPress. We're going to do 205 degrees. So is this still the superfine grind, or is it regular hot AeroPress grind? It's a regular hot AeroPress grind. So both these are more into the coarse grind. We're back to normal grinding methods for this one. Okay. So we're going to wash our filter. What? Would have been better with sugar. That's not a good. That's good
I'm
coffee.
gonna try this. So what is this?
That is the AeroPress iced coffee.
Not bad flavor. I'm not a huge fan of coffee.
I asked people. I asked you put sugar in this. Yeah, it's gonna taste like coffee milk.
Yeah, I could see that coffee milk. But
You want a coffee milkshake?
I would much
Get a
prefer
milkshake.
the hot thing. Yeah, but it's still. I mean, it's good flavor. I could drink this, but it kind of just tastes like coffee after I poured it and then got busy with other stuff and forgot and came back to drink it later.
Okay, we're gonna do the pour over method. Now, again, shameless plug for things I've already done. If you're wondering the specific pour over methods that I use or the people in my sphere use, check out what we did with Val Ross about 3 weeks ago. We did a full display of AeroPress technique. Pour over techniques. So check that video out if you've not done so. All right. So we're going to start by putting 30 grams of coffee on here to bloom it. You guys, a little bloom shot. This is saying that by your definition, she essentially drinks iced coffee every day for how slow she is. $30 to get it going. Oh. We're going to go for a total of 338 grams total over the course of about 2 minutes. Our grind size was just a little too coarse because that ran through pretty quick. You know what gives some coffee more crema than others? Grind size, roast type, mostly grind size though. So I wanted this to brew for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It did a speedy brew of 2 minutes. We're gonna just drink it anyway. But in the future, was probably way too coarse in order for this grind. Excuse me, for this pour over. All right. Now, for this, You're actually going to take ice. Pour the coffee right over top of it. Bloom doesn't look as appetizing. So, here it is. Iced coffee. Throw another couple extra cubes of ice on there just to cool it down. Good. Tell you what. That's probably better, in my opinion, than the AeroPress was. So, brewing a little bit more coffee, putting it over a lot of ice. That's better than the AeroPress was. So for whatever reason, I would say the pour over is probably more conducive for this type of coffee. You know what would also, I think, would be pretty good would be if you did like an Americano. So if you ordered hot water, poured over espresso, then poured over ice, I think that would be pretty good. So I'm going to be completely and totally honest. I liked the cold brew the best because it had the most coffee flavor in it. The iced coffee doesn't have much coffee flavor. I mean, my mind tells me that this is coffee, and it's like I said, it's like I'm drinking coffee, but I tend to call it what you want, snobbery or aficionado. I mean, we could go back and forth all day, but I'm missing a lot of the coffee taste that I spend a lot of time trying to roast. And if you are getting really good roasted coffee, you're getting it really, a lot of care is being taken into it. It's very fresh. Just a poll of those of you that do drink iced coffee, how many of you are primarily drinking your iced coffee from Starbucks? That's all I want to know. Not trying, this isn't like Fat Beans grills us on the stream, but how many of you, like, your Starbucks is your number one iced coffee experience? Because for me, it just feel like I'm trying to get away with drinking coffee. And at Fat Beans Coffee Labs, not what we promote. So I see A-Web has said yes to the iced coffee. Jill McDonald 311 is the Starbucks for me and Sakin, so Sakin's in too. Looks around, sees someone raise their hands first. Yeah. Well, again, I will never be the one who sits here on my stream and bemoans Starbucks, because there wouldn't be a coffee culture in this country without them. And that's simple fact. And in fact, every coffee drinker that starts with Starbucks and experiences a little bit more and says, hey, I want to actually... Everyone keeps talking about taste in their coffee. That's the only reason anyone, like, I get the beans that I get. If without Starbucks, that wouldn't be there. Coffee culture in this country was diners and Folgers before Starbucks came around. They added the sophistication that allowed the margins to get up high enough that coffee could be good. Then the coffee shops then came into the mix. And now finally we're at the point where we have people that are pushing to drink really good coffee from home, which is kind of the ilk that I tend to associate with. So But in my opinion, the cold brew was the truest to form of all the coffees as far as identifying tastes, because I know what tastes are in this coffee in the sense that I've made it, and really all I'm getting is I feel like I'm trying to mask it, trying to get away with something. And it doesn't deserve that. But I'll tell you what, a little bit of milk in this, bunch of ice, feels blazing hot out. I'd do it. I'll also make a cup of coffee here at home. I'll put it in the fridge for a while, then I'll pour it over ice. And how do you make that coffee, Gene? How'd you still associate with people who tangle with the... I'm never going to judge, because as you saw, as many of you guys saw, I made the... I'm no expert. But when I'm trying to get better, definitely there's flavors that I really encourage all of you, especially... I know a lot of people that watch this are coffee novices. Like, this isn't the Brian Brogren, that's my name. So I guess you could look me up. But this isn't the Brian Brogren talks coffee. Like, that's not my style. I don't know if you can see by my head wear and my shoulder wear. I'm not here to really push a very sophisticated coffee agenda. I just want, like I said, like I promoted all week, like coffee is really good for you. Black coffee, the benefits, just, I got another article from JMCD 311 who says that it's also good for men's eyesight. So the benefits just keep rolling in for black coffee. So if it's that good for you, so think of something else that's that good for you. Broccoli. Wait, the Brian Brogren? It's Brian with a Y. Bubba Tex 00000.
How's this one?
Just tastes like it masked.
And this is the...
That's better than the other one.
Pour over?
Yeah. But what I was saying was, I have no idea. I'm off my table.
Sorry. Yeah, that's better than the other one, but still same. It's just...
Yep.
It's just my cup of coffee that I left from the morning.
Coffee's really good for you, so might as well make it taste really good, so that you're not having to put cream and sugar, or more so just sugar, because the sugar's not good for you. If you were to drink 2 of these with as much sugar as I'm guessing Starbucks or McDonald's does, it's going to be bad for you. All the benefits of black coffee are just going to be completely erased, because granulated white sugar is not good for you. In fact, it's a little bit of it will reduce any of the benefits that you're getting. But coffee can be good. I know that's hard to believe, and I know a lot of you that haven't drank a lot of coffee, you drink coffee and you're like, black coffee, it's most exceptional. To the point where I'm drinking this, even if I put sugar in, I really just want to get my hands on some really good black 185 degree cup of coffee. It just kind of brings it all together for me. Yes, AWeb 87. Your coffee is on the way. It should be there Wednesday. So get hyped for some good beans. Thank you for that, Jay Brogan. All right, well, I'm gonna say full report. Yeah, the one catch is the full report. Also, I will tell you what the shipping costs on that, because give you the friends discount on the beans, but I can't give it on the shipping. I got nothing to do with that. All right, so now that we're sitting here relaxed, drinking our iced water, what's good? So what's new? We had another good week of roasting. How's the sound? Good to see some of the more obscure bean heads pop in today. Always good to hear from all of you. The roast show, I think it's probably easy for a lot of you to be in the show tonight because it is balls cold up and down the map. If you live in the center or the fold of the United States, it's not friendly from top to bottom. Emily and I will have a tasting sesh. It is so good. So Jill McDonald, if you could pour some in the chat, tell us. You don't drink black coffee, so is it so good because you're stoking my ego, or is it so good because you likes it? everyone alive down south with your winter store? No, I heard it. I heard it got bad. I mean, Vegetable Beard, they were down. School was canceled Monday and Tuesday. We have President's Day off here in the Midwest, but it's supposed to be -15, so we might have Tuesday off too. Dave Brogan, no shade. We ain't built for this stuff. Where can you get merchandise? Well, it's all about growing this monster, Bubba So right now the margins for everything, I'm basically we're in build mode as with the Fat Beans coffee, but we are going to start producing more coffee beans starting March 1st. We're going to get a bigger roaster. Still, we're not going to change home roaster because I got 2 kids and a real job, but we are going to start doing more beans. And as we start, if we do start selling beans, if you guys are interested in tasting some home roast or what I consider to be good, or we'll start pumping out more and more dice as the margins get better.
Our friend Austin Taylor, who helped put together the logo, is going to help me build a website this week or next. Start putting in tracking website, so that should be.
So I will let you guys know when merchandising becomes more available, but we're still in the very infancy. One thing I think with this Twitch show is I think it's really cool, and I think hopefully AWeb can attest that seeing your own beans roasted, I don't know if that's as cool as I think it is. So those of you that have drank or seen your own beans roasted, let me know if you like the Twitch and having your name on the title and seeing your own beans roasted, if that adds anything, because really what kind of started off this Twitch to begin with.
And
so.
Jill, I'd like to hear more. How did you end up brewing yours, and how did you drink it? Because I know you were a big coffee mate. Now,
we are the only bean roasters on Twitch as of right now. I'm sure there's other people roasting beans. That's an arrogant thing to say, but we doing the beans. Oh, my coffee? I drank it black the entire time. My roommate and I loved it. Really helped through the rough week of work. Hey, man. Oh, robot's here.
That's what coffee's there for.
It makes the anticipation better. Use a drip coffee maker, no cream, no sugar, which is a first. There you are. You're on the wagon now. So now you got to keep upping your coffee game to get progressively better and better and better, because that's the only place left to go. For me, the roasting was the next step, and I guess after this, it's the farming. So
you saying we move into South America?
Panama. I already got the place.
Oh, okay.
I already got the spot.
I like the warm weather. I'm okay.
Yep. So sorry, I don't know if that Panamanian education system is all it's cracked out to be. But the boys.
Good thing you're a teacher.
Good thing I'm an educator, Julianne. I'm not a teacher. I do not teach. I educate.
That thing you tell your students.
I do.
Yeah.
Teaching is the physical art of showing someone how to do something with their bodies.
Okay.
Like, what do you want me to do? Like, tell them how to move their bodies to social studies?
No.
Do the social studies dance? They will learn Spanish. I mean, they either will or they won't. They're my kids, so they might not be able to.
Funny story, our 3-year-old is in school and he has Spanish class in school. And so now when he wants something and he says, just one more minute or one more time or one more, no, not right now or whatever, he'll say, just uno. No. And I think he thinks that will make the answer different.
Hey man, the kid's cultured. Uno means one, by the way. Stream. I don't want to kick the chat, but Uno means one. I know that. Well, you know what? I really wish I had a hot cup of coffee. Because
that cold coffee isn't doing it for you?
I'm gonna tell you what, the cold brew was pretty good. Like I might do it. I'm
I
gonna
didn't
start.
get to try the cold.
Well, I'm not doing it again. But
Do you have?
no, I don't have any cold water left. Well, I guess yeah. That's
Let
the.
me try.
Hey, you're right. It doesn't really need to be heated up.
Yeah.
There's another benefit for the cold brew. It does not need to be heated up. So, Julie, you tell them. I'm gonna make myself some real coffee. I'm not even joshing.
Yeah, this is better for sure. Like I said, the other one just tastes like you left your coffee out and forgot to drink. This one actually tastes like you meant for it to be. I like this one better for
Microwave.
sure. Yeah.
You could.
So I have been running up and down. So I haven't seen how much coffee he's actually had.
I haven't had as much as you'd think.
How much? What number cup are we on here? If he makes himself a hot cup of coffee right now.
I'm drinking all of them. But there's more coffee on the floor than that.
Coffee on the floor. So now that you are going to be up all night, what shows on Netflix do you binge? Right now, what we're watching from a recommendation of my mom and dad, it's called Mindhunter. Is that right? Mindhunter. It's on Netflix. I think we talked about it a little bit at one point. It has the King George from Hamilton. I can't remember his real name, but that actor is Jonathan Groff or something like that. He's the main character. And it's about these two FBI agents. Oh, Umbrella Academy. Two FBI agents that study serial killers, and it's very interesting. But Umbrella Academy, Jill, is a great one. I would recommend it if you've seen it.
Other recommendations.
Night Stalker? No. That is?
About the night.
And we've seen all of Schitt's Creek. Love Schitt's Creek. It's like,
Family show.
yeah, like what I put on in the background now. Okay.
Just showing them how fast.
The Sinner is good. Never heard of that one either. But right behind me is doing AeroPress. How fast he's going.
Daddy needed to cleanse his palate from all that iced coffee. Got a Julia Moira. Moira does not do well for the old dyslexia. That is not a dyslexic fan word. The word Moira does not resonate the funicular. Oh yeah. Look out, palate. Now, let's see if we can't send ourselves back down to even. What I've been missing. Just 1,000 more flavors than in the iced coffee. Just so much more in the hot coffee. I know. I see the iced coffee. I see the appeal. But since I'm not a sugar guy, there's all my sweet. I couldn't get any of the sweet tastes when I poured it over all that ice. Yeah. Costa Rican is hit the spot. It's bomb. Just to experiment a little bit. Now, save your gasps. That's just whole milk. Oh, that's a good cup. Well, I'd say excellent show. I think we had a little bit of technical difficulties, as P. Brogan pointed out. We had double Butterfingers, but we did explore a deeper. I have a deeper appreciation now for what coffees are. I also understand a little bit. My eyes have been open to the cold brew. I would have never even have thought of messing around with cold brew before, but I saw so many other roasters and so many other baristas getting into the cold brew, and I get the cold brew. I don't get the iced coffee, and I guess if it was 100 degrees out and I needed coffee, and I probably would just drink hot coffee, but I'm just a weirdo in that sense. But I do it. We've done it now. So when I say, hey, someone says, hey, do you like iced coffee? I can say with a very straight face, I don't. Double Butterfingers. Yeah, I dropped a bunch of stuff, Webb. Got schooled by my own kitchen this evening. So hopefully you guys were able to pick up a couple of tips, or at least sit in your nice warm houses and watch me drink cold coffee in a cold basement. So I did get the final reward in the hot coffee, and my organs are starting to feel again, so that's good. We do roasting shows 3 nights a week on average, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if you are new to us or just checking it out, the roasting is kind of where my hobby is. It's where my trade is the roasting. It's kind of my bliss. It's turning something from a very raw state into something acceptable. We do that 3 nights a week, and then this is we call the kitchen show, or the brewing laboratory, where we just try some new stuff out. Next week, I don't know if he's in the chat or not, but day is upon us. We will be inviting JMCD311 in, and we're going to try to get him to be a coffee guy. So he's had through 66 years of not drinking coffee, but he can't avoid the health benefits anymore. He's interested in how does he get his hands on some drinkable black coffee. So we're going to bring him into the kitchen and see if we can't educate him a little bit. So tune in for that next Saturday. Hopefully the weather is a little bit nicer for some of you guys next Saturday. But as always... Oh, so JMCD, tell us why we got you in the chat for a minute. Are you excited for your big show debut? I pushed it back and pushed it back. Really, I've just been trying to get the sink in because I'm going to need to brew a lot of coffee. And I'm going to need to have some water. I can't keep running up and down stairs. But we are set and ready to go. Gimme Bear Baby Beans, are you excited? Tell the people. That's dynamite coffee. I'm excited. J Divine 311, when are you going to come down and hit a show? Gotten every other McDonald's has made the show. Should I bring my own creamer? Yes. You should. I'll have some cream for you, some heavy whipping cream. But if you think you need coffee mates, you go ahead and you bring that on your own. It's sink or swim. Really, this is my whole career as a person who says they are trying to make good coffee is going to rest on baby beans in the old brew lab on next Saturday. So I am excited. I also have a proposition for you that I'll talk with you about soon that maybe we can announce to the people. I've been thinking about how can we can expand what we do on our stream a little bit more. So we will look into that. Maybe we'll be talk about that tomorrow and see if we can announce something exciting. Bring me back some. Only if my kids can be on the show too. Absolutely. This is a kids friendly show. You know how much I have to practice in a mirror and just blowing cuss words out before I come on this stream, so I don't just rattle off F-bombs. When I spilled that coffee earlier, the fact that I didn't just fire one off really honed all of my teaching skills. Is it No, it's not frowned upon to give small children caffeine. Have you not heard me talk about the health benefits? We've rattled off the health benefits over and over and again. Might as well start him young. See? JMCD 311. He's all about that. We've seen Gus a time or two. Yeah, Gus does make a time. Gus really likes the fact that he's on TV. He's pretty sure he's famous now. He's told me he was YouTube famous. Yep. They've never heard any F-bomb. Well, they've heard Uncle Brian once or twice before, but my big thing is, my fear is that one of my students will become a big fan of mine, and then my principal will become a big fan of mine, and then my job will become ass stamps. I keep it a little bit on the clean side here in the old Beans laboratory. But you can go ahead and add all the cuss words when you see it in my face. So when Aweb gives a pun, you can drop the cuss words that I'm thinking about in the chat. So that's the new game. Every time Aweb says a stupid, well, not stupid. It's not fair, Aweb. I'm sorry. Sorry. Every time Aweb does something punish in the chat, you guys go ahead and try to guess which cuss word is Brian thinking about when that happens. That's the new game. Yeah, they've never heard the F-bomb. No F-bombs ever, especially not during the Super Bowl. I know. So, the Super Bowl show last week seems like a million miles ago. A million. Just think about how confident, how cocky we were in that, and now here we are, a little bit subdued. So, always pushing past shows. Check out the Super Bowl show to see how overconfident we all were. But gonna hit up JMCD. I think we could have something exciting, but I'm gonna have to go run like, I don't know, 2 miles. Well, Big Cat ain't running no 2 miles. I'm gonna have to go slowly walk and heave 2 miles in my house to get some of this caffeine worn off, because that last cup I just had, I'm tuned up. I'm flying high. So, you got any last thoughts?
No, thanks for tuning in, of course. Always have fun.
Yeah, it's been
I know I give you a hard time, but I hope you guys are safe down in your storm. I know you're not used to this type of cold or snow or whatever it is you get. So, but
who are you talking to? Texas people?
Texas people, yeah.
Let the people know. Let the people know. Huh?
What do you mean?
Not everyone's from Texas.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm talking about the Texas. Well, I mean, anyone really. I think they're bad weather all over the place.
I know. But it's been good having you guys in. Beanheads, all of you alike. Thanks for joining us in the brewing laboratory. We'll be back in the roasting laboratory on Monday, where I'll be trying to take the Kenyan coffee a little bit darker. So, as I am, and as all of you should be, stay caffeinated, stay warm, stay away from it.